The film opens in the year 1905, with a metropolis being depicted. We come upon a magician named Oz. He used to work at a circus, where he did small tricks. It suggests he wasn't a really gifted magician. He is always befriending new girls. Only a few individuals attended his performance. While completing his feat, he throws a girl into the air. While she is watching this, a female from the audience approaches him. She requests that you please repair my paralyzed feet. Oz falls silent after hearing this because he is unable to repair her feet. He used to do everyday tricks. When everyone notices Oz's silence, they begin to criticize him. They also depart from there. Later, we see a tall, fit man approaching Oz with the intent of beating him. He was enraged because Oz had attempted to trap his wife. Oz employs a few deceptions to protect himself from him. He couldn't survive long in front of that man. To avoid that man, he climbs into an air balloon and sits inside. However, in order to capture Oz, that man cuts the cord of the air balloon. Winds begin to blow, causing the balloon to soar quickly. A severe storm is approaching that area. Oz begins to scream as he detects a severe storm approaching. Oz was terrified as he became increasingly engulfed in the storm. He begs God to save him from this horrible storm at any costs. Everything returns to normal after a while. In fact, the storm passes and the sky clears. After a while, we realize this was not the location of the storm. Oz has arrived in a one-of-a-kind and lovely universe. Until today, he had never heard of or seen this location. When he sees this lovely planet, he is taken aback. Soon after entering this realm, he fell into a stream. Meanwhile, a young lady named Theodora comes. She was a good witch who was a witch. Oz inquires of Theodora, the witch, as to the location of this lovely spot. I'd never heard of or seen this site before. She tells him that this location is renowned as the Land of Beauty. Later, Oz performs a trick on her and gives her a gorgeous flower. When she notices this, she is both horrified and delighted. She considers Oz to be a true wizard. She informs Oz that this location has a witch's black shadow. She is a magician, and as our king once said, that a human will fly to us and perform magic on us. That individual will shield us from the witch. And his name will be Oz, and he will tell everyone that I am the wizard, Oz. Meanwhile, horrifying noises begin to be heard. These were the sounds of dangerous animals delivered by the witch. They seek sanctuary in a cave to shield themselves from them. Oz impressed Theodora by performing tricks. She began to like him, and they were planning a trip to another city. On the way, they come across a flying monkey that is in difficulty. He was wrapped in the tree bark at the time. Theodora requests that Oz assist him. In the meantime, a lion appears, but Oz drives him away with his tricks. The monkey becomes delighted as he observes. He promised Oz that he would surely assist him at any time in his life. The monkey joins them, and they eventually arrive to the palace. There, Theodora lives with her sister. When Oz is not present, Theodora informs her sister. Oz is the wizard who will defeat the evil witch and protect us. When Theodora's sister hears this, she becomes enraged. I don't think he's a magician, I think he's a thief. He has come here for the sake of money and the kingdom. Theodora's sister reveals him the palace's wealth at night on purpose, where there was a lot of gold. Oz becomes enraged when he sees a great amount of gold in front of him. Theodora's sister tells him that he will inherit the entire golden rain. When he travels to the Black Forest, home of the terrible witch, you must shatter the magician's magical stick in order to murder her. Oz agrees because he believes that everything is simple. The next day, he brings the monkey to the forest, the location of the witch's residence. Later, they detect soaring smoke coming from a location. They arrive at a location only to discover that it has been demolished. They go inside because they hear sobbing there. They examine the person who is crying and discover a doll. She informs them that a deadly witch dispatched her men to that location. They also demolish the entire region. He then realizes the doll's foot is also broken. He repairs it with adhesive and notices that it now works perfectly. Because the doll was alone and she had no one. As they go closer to the jungle, the dark woodland, she joins them. They soon find themselves in a dark wilderness. This was a terrible jungle since it was encircled by darkness on all four sides. They later notice a movement there. Someone seemed to have been keeping an eye on them and pursuing them. We observe some unusual animals, and when they turn around, the animals simply vanish. Trees, not animals, were keeping an eye on them. These were extremely dangerous, and deadly plants attacked them. They get it safely out of there with tremendous difficulty. And as they continue on, they come across an old villa. Later, a shadow appeared, and it was none other than the terrible witch's shadow. She goes to open the gate, which is why she abandons her magical stick. Because Oz requires this stick, he devises a strategy. He asks the monkey to distract the witch. That's why he starts making strange noises and the witch notices him. Oz takes advantage of this by stealing her magical stick. Finally, he takes the stick he requires. He was accosted by the witch. After viewing her, the three of them get afraid. The witch here displays her face, and we see that she is neither horrible nor harmless. Instead, she was a lovely witch who went by the name Glinda. Oz is surprised when he realizes his attractiveness, and Glinda tells him the whole truth. That I'm a good witch, not a scary witch. Theodora's sister is the most dangerous and skilled magician. She possesses the throne, and her deception deceives everyone. Glinda informs Oz that Theodora's sister has poisoned her own father. Later, she accused me of being an evil witch who also murdered her father. Later, I discovered that she'd assassinated her own father in order to gain the king's throne. The genuine wicked witch, Theodora's sister, can be seen on the other side. She got ragged as she watched everything through a crystal. Meanwhile, her sister Theodora comes. She is so pleased to see Oz with Glinda that she believes he will murder her right now. Her sister does not tell her the truth, and she lies to her sister Theodora. She fabricates the idea that Oz is a terrible guy who attempts to flirt with every girl. He had previously attempted to trap me, and now he is attempting the same with the witch, Glinda. When Theodora learns this, she becomes ragged and begins crying. Sister of Theodora sends her monsters to kill Glinda and Oz. All the creatures arrive at the location where Oz and Glinda are. Glinda believes Oz is the real magician. So, because he is a magician, she asks him. As a result, please evacuate the army of harmful monsters from here. The Wizard of Oz's tricks were insufficient to send this army. That is why he requests that his pals evacuate. They can't flee since the Beast's army has surrounded them. Glinda's spell disperses smoke everywhere. They believe the animals had vanished because they can't hear any sound for a long time. Eventually, the army thing plummeted from the sky and assaulted them. They run away from them once more. Glinda urges them to jump off the mountain as they are fleeing. Glinda uses her power once more to save them all with a bubble. She starts leading them to her kingdom. Magic kept this kingdom safe from the perilous witch. Only those with clean souls are permitted to enter this kingdom. People who are good and honest. Oz is worried when he hears this since he knows. Because he is neither good nor has a clean heart. Later, we witness him enter the kingdom, the magic. He was conscious of himself, so when he entered, he was taken aback. A great number of people in Glinda's realm welcomed them. Everyone regarded Oz with awe because he was a magician. Later, Oz informs Glinda that he is not the wizard she is considering. She asserts that she is aware of your cowardice and selfishness. They are the individuals who have been anticipating the arrival of the magician for many years. They're pleased, and I don't want to spoil the hope they've had for many years. As a result, she wants Oz to pretend to be a magician. Theodora was on the other side and could see everything. When she sees them happy together, Theodora becomes enraged. When her sister notices Theodora's condition, she decides to transform her into an evil witch like her. She feeds the girl a green apple. After swallowing it, she transforms into a terrifying green witch. She must exact her vengeance on Oz. Glinda, on the other hand, devises a strategy with Oz. He needs to persuade them that they can defeat the evil witch. The magic that had been protecting them was steadily eroding. Theodora emerges from a fireball that strikes that place. In her new and dangerous look, Theodora immediately goes to murder Oz. Glinda sets out to stop her and defend Oz from her. My sister and I, according to Theodora, will be leaving soon. Our troops will arrive to launch an attack on you all. Because we are evil, we will kill everyone who is good. And my first and foremost goal is to reach Oz. Theodora flees after frightening and threatening everyone. All of the gullible individuals begin to run from there. Oz prepares to abandon them as well, because the evil sister's first target was him. He is halted by Glinda, and in the meantime, he considers the inventor of light. Later, he begins devising a strategy for defeating the evil sisters. Oz approaches all the nice folks with his proposal. He requests that they all prepare a device capable of displaying images with motions. a projector of some sort. On the other hand, the sisters have assembled an army to attack. On the other hand, everything Oz had intended had been completed. Oz requests that the heads of good people form an air balloon. He asks that you not tell anyone about this because it is a private matter. Oz travels to another city with a group of friends. Glinda was fighting alongside the army of sisters. She respreads the smoke across her domain. Glinda's people are poised to attack amid the smoke. The army of witch sisters was likewise ready to launch an attack. It was the army of monsters. It reveals that the smoke included puppets rather than individuals. The smoke was eventually destroyed. The creatures begin to faint as a result of the poison. Glinda's folks are overjoyed, until two creatures appear and kidnap her. Theodora's sister first employs her power, hurling her magical stick. When the doll notices the magical stick, she immediately takes it. Glinda is later brought to Theodora's town by her sister. Later, she was on the verge of murdering Glinda in front of everyone. Later, when Oz begins to leave after witnessing the scene. While sprinting, Theodora notices him. Later, she demonstrates to the town's citizens that their savior is a true coward and greedy individual. He's fleeing, leaving you all in peril. Later, Theodora strikes the air balloon with fire. The flaming air balloon crashes. The evil sisters believe that everything has been destroyed and that they have won. Then, there is a massive explosion, and everyone believes Oz is dead. Meanwhile, Oz makes an unannounced visit. Whatever happened was all part of Oz's plan. So the witches believe they have won and act accordingly. Later, Oz does his final trick, turning off the lights one by one. The image of Oz becomes visible thanks to the technology they've constructed. This was a horrible image of Oz. The picture of Oz cries angrily at the sisters, and they are terrified to see this. Their guards use their rods to attack the image. It is uninjured because we know it was only a photograph. The doll later approaches Glinda and hands her the magical stick. Glinda sets her free once she receives the enchanted stick. Later, Oz seeks Theodora's forgiveness. He informs her that if she becomes a good witch, she can live with us. Theodora disagrees, and she walks away, laughing and making fun of him. When Oz notices this, he becomes agitated and attacks her. As a result, Theodora passes away there. Glinda and Theodora's sister are fighting on the opposing side. Glinda is holding Theodora's sister's locket during the struggle. She destroys it, causing Theodora's sister to grow old. Later, Glinda murders her, and everything repeats itself. Oz rescued their lives, just as predicted. This is how the film concludes. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel if you like my work, guys.